Hey everyone. The Reddit Bureau of Investigation, or RBI, is one of the wildest subreddits I've come across. It's a place where Redditors team up to solve real crimes and mysterious cases people post about. I'm no FBI agent, but I'll be sharing my thoughts and what I think the OPs should do. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into some disturbing cases from RBI. Is my landlord watching me? Hello, I am new to Reddit, and after debating for a bit, I decided to make this account to get maybe some input on what to do. English is my second language, so I apologize for any typos. I am a 26 female, living alone for the first time. My landlord has always felt a bit off to me. He is a man in his late 40s and has never been holding back with comments about the way I look, etc. When I moved in, he was very clear about me not touching the 2 fire alarms in my bedroom and hallway. He justified it by saying they were directly connected with the fire department, and if I tried to do anything to them, I would cause an alarm. The alarm in my bedroom has always made me feel weird. It makes a lot of noises, especially at night, almost sounding like a remote-controlled car, and sometimes makes a very muffled beeping sound. I brought it up to him once, and he said it was nothing, and if it made more problems, I should call him. But other things kept happening, and I just felt more and more like something was off. But at the same time, people kept telling me I was overthinking things and scared since it was my first time living alone. The first thing that felt off to me was that as I was renovating to move in, I grabbed the wrong shade of the color I wanted for my bedroom, and it ended up looking a bit too bright on the wall I tested it on. A few days later, during a phone call, he snapped at my parents about how horrible the pink was I was using in my bedroom and if I was crazy. I had not let him inside my place, so I was very confused, but kinda brushed it of to me walking around in paint-covered clothing. But things got weirder after that. During January last year, I spent a day at my parents', and when I came back, something felt off. I couldn't pinpoint it, and no one was inside my apartment, but I realized after walking into my bedroom a second time, one of the drawers under my bed was pulled out, and I don't remember ever touching it. Again, I brushed it of mainly BC. My parents told me I probably just forgot, and I kinda ended up feeling ashamed for ever bringing it up. Months later, during the summer, I took part in a gaming night on a friend's Discord server, and when I finally hopped off to go to bed at 4 a.m., I came into my bedroom to see my underwear drawers open. I panicked and called my mom BC. She lived close by, and I wasn't sure if someone was still in the apartment. After that, I installed a door chain and got an alarm for the time I spend at home. I suspected my landlord had a second key, and now I probably wasn't able to get inside anymore. But that didn't cover the time when I am not home. Sometimes when I come back, furniture in my bedroom is slightly moved, but at this point, my family keeps telling me I just forgot I moved it, that I am too ashamed to keep bringing it up. I know I sound insane, but is it possible to have cameras installed in the fire alarms? Could I call the fire department in their non-emergency number, just asking if they can take a look at it BC of the weird noises? I really just want my peaceful life back. Constantly, knowing someone might have been in here in the past, while I slept, is really creeping me out and making me want to cry. Do you have any advice on what I should do? Edit. I never expected so many responses, so I will try to answer some questions here. First of all, my parents love and support me. I was just on a call with my mom updating her. I don't think she intended to gaslight me at all. They are not in contact with my landlord. My mom is reasonably upset right now and probably would go talk with him RN if she could. My landlord lives in another city. He just owns a bunch of apartments here. But he is here, multiple times a week. I live in Germany, so any US law stuff doesn't really apply. Sorry for not clarifying sooner. My plan of action RN is, I am going to call the fire department tomorrow morning to have them come by, and I have a family friend come by on Monday to put in new locks. I want to check the alarms, but I am not very tall, and I don't have a ladder here RN, so I cannot rip them off, even though I would love to. Also sorry if I am not responding to all the DMs and private chat offers. This is a lot to take in. I promise I will keep you all updated. Thank you for all your kind words. Update March 17th. Good morning, and thank you to everyone giving their input and sending messages to me. This morning has been very stressful, so I apologize if I cannot get back to your DMs. I had a call with the fire department, and they told me the alarm is not connected to them in any way, shape, or form, and that it is extremely fishy that the one tinkered with is the bedroom one. I also completely forgot I do have a storage room that has an alarm that looks identical to the one in the hallway. They told me to ask around in my friends and family if anyone knows a bit about electricity and have them come by to take it of and take a look inside. They said it's very likely some kind of foul play happened here, Disregarding the camera problem, there is still a fire alarm someone just messed with and didn't fix. My mom's best friend is an electrician, and I will try to reach him today to ask if he can come by as soon as possible. Otherwise, I know he is going to be around on Monday, so I might have to wait a bit longer. Either way, I will keep you updated. Thank you so much for your support. Edit. Friend is going to stop by on Monday, so likely no update until then. It was advised not to rip them off, on case there is anything wrong about it. Should I feel unsafe at any point, I can crash at my parents' or my sister's. Edit. I just want to clarify for those who are confused why I don't just rip it. It belongs to my landlord. If it's true what one of the posters said, and it is put up wrongly, my landlord can get in trouble for that, but so can I for ripping it off. I would have to pay both for a new smoke detector and a person to put it up, and I don't have the money to risk doing that. Okay. Nothing weird has happened since then, and I am pretty sure I will have more answers until then. The only other thing that I am already doing anyway was that a neighbor and I were talking, and while the topic of safety came up, she just said, "You should change your locks," without really knowing anything that happened to me here. Which is not an odd thing to say, but just very specific. Update 23rd of March. Sorry for not updating instantly. Today was very stressful. While, as far as I know, BC of my mom's friend, my smoke detector is okay right now. But there is other stuff that came up. I don't know and can't say more about what is going on, RN. I am not like to well known about what I would be able to say, but I rather not risk it, since there is a ongoing police investigation. All in all, I have made choices to keep my safety insured for now. Sorry for not being able to give some of you the closure they might want to hear. Maybe one day I might be able to share the full story of what happened. Until then, to all of you, thank you so much. You helped me gain the confidence to have things looked at and to make my safety my priority. I hope things are going to be good for all of you in these crazy times. Again, thank you. I wish you all the best. Lady buys $1 7K in Apple gift cards with cash every week. I know the immediate thought is she's being scammed, but I don't think that's the case. She's 30 to 40 and seems fully with it mentally. We've openly talked about gift card scams with her, and her responses make me believe she isn't being scammed. If anything, her demeanor comes off more like she could be the one doing something nefarious. She comes in every single week, sometimes multiple times a week, paying in fresh $100 bills from the bank. She only ever buys Apple gift cards. She usually spends about 25K, but has gone as high as 7K in one day. This is in Canada, in case it matters. When asked, she usually says she does online gambling, and this is somehow related to her winnings, but she's also claimed they were gifts once. Personally, I suspect it's related to money laundering or tax evasion somehow. Edit for comments I keep seeing. I'm nosy and curious, not a snitch. I only plan to intervene if it seems like someone is being victimized. Open to hearing any theories. Edit 1. Looks like the majority think it's likely she's being scammed. I'll be sure next time she stops in that we sit her down and talk more. I'm hoping she'll be able to show us some kind of proof of her online gambling explanation or something like that. I'll speak with my manager and see if we can bar her from buying any more until she provides that. If anything else comes up, I'll edit it onto this post. Thanks everyone for your input. To expand on her demeanor, here is a description in case it helps. She carries herself with a professional attitude. She isn't interested in small talk or chatting, but she addresses our questions, concerns politely. Her body language is confident and calm, definitely not anxious whatsoever. The only real emotion I see her display is mild annoyance when there's a delay in the process. When we talked about gift card scams with her in the past, she seemed indifferent and her demeanor didn't change. I saw zero anxiety, sheepishness, agitation, defensiveness, etc. It's hard to put into words, but I really get the vibe that she's in the know with this situation, if that makes any sense. The bills are legitimate every time, not counterfeits. She started coming in early, mid-December, and has been in at least once a week consistently since. When should I tell the police my housemate could be missing? I messaged my housemate to ask if she's going to feed the cats or if I should come home to do it, and she didn't reply, so I came home. Her car is here. Her cigarettes and phone are gone. She's not answering calls or messages, and she's nowhere in the house. I've never known her to go on a walk or not be reliable and communicative about things like feeding the cats. How long should I wait to report this because it's very out of character, but I don't want to jump the gun if she's just out with a friend. Update. I've literally just opened my eyes. I am very tired and sort of scanning through comments that are a mix of helpful and calling me stupid. I just quickly want to clarify that although my housemate is autistic, she is high functioning and independent and wouldn't just be getting in danger when she's out and about. I'll do a proper update once I'm fully awake. Final update, I got out of bed and I checked her room. She's home. I asked her about it, and she said she got picked up by one of her cousins to go to a family thing. She seems kind of out of it, so I'm not sure if she's telling the truth, but in any case, she's safe. Thank you to the helpful people. I'm glad this ended well. The stalker situation is becoming more severe. I really don't know what to do at this point. This explanation is kind of long, but I think it's all important to the story. Basically, on my 19th birthday, which occurred in July, one of my female friends went out to the city, and I became extremely intoxicated. She was drinking too, but I was much more drunk than she was. Everything was going fine until we entered the train station to go home. As we entered this train station, I drunkenly spoke to this man, just saying hi. This man approached me, trying to hug and kiss me and whatnot. Being drunk, I didn't resist, but also didn't kiss him back. My friend tried to defend me and told him to leave me alone, but he would not. My friend and I live in opposite directions. Her stop is before mine, and I needed to Uber the rest of the way home. So my friend left me, and I was alone with this man. I began to sober up a bit, and he kept pushing me for my number, which I gave him. He told me where he lives, and kept pushing me to come back to his place with him. I kept insisting that I needed to get home, and I called my Uber, but when my ride arrived, he literally picked me up and would not let me get in. He started to get angrier, pulling my hair. My phone died, so I was unable to call another, and when I was trying to charge it, he tried stealing my phone. To put a long story short, he repeatedly groped, hit me, and attempted to rape me, following me around the city for hours in the middle of the night. I somehow was able to charge my phone a bit. I don't remember exactly how. I called my friend, didn't call the police because I was underage. I think when he realized I wasn't going to call 911, he got bolder. Eventually, it turned from him trying to force himself on me to him just straight up beating me, even trying to push me on the train track. This was finally stopped by a bystander. Thankfully, the bystander helped me charge my phone, call another Uber. The stranger also called the police. But I was already going to be in trouble for coming home so late, so I just got in the Uber before the police arrived. I thanked the stranger that night, but I wish I could find him again, because I feel like he literally saved me. This was traumatic for me, but I never reported it or really said anything to anyone. I thought it was all over. About a month goes by and I run into the crazy man again. He had told me the city he lives in, and it's pretty far away, so I was never expecting to see him again. He was getting off the train as I was getting on. I pretended not to see him, and he either didn't see me or pretended not to. This alarmed me because now I know we frequent the same area, but still, what can I do? Beginning of September, I'm at work. I work in a restaurant. During one of my shifts, I looked over at the host stand and immediately saw him. We make eye contact, and there's a hint of recognition on his face. I tell the host not to seat to him in my section. My coworker serves him. He leaves. That's that. Mid-September, I go to a college party. As the night went on, I saw the man yet again. I'm confused because when we spoke that night, he told me he was 28, which is a lot older than the typical age for a person at a college party. This time, he spoke to me like, "Oh, haven't seen you in a while. You're not gonna talk to me," etc. He was saying things in a kind of mocking, taunting way. I completely ignored him, starting to try to find my friends so we could all leave, and he once again started following me around. I eventually gather my friends and kind of explain what's happening. We all get into the vehicle, he gets into his, I make note of the make, model, and write down the plate. I wasn't able to take pictures because my phone had died. He follows us until my friend yells out the window to tell him that we're calling the cops if he doesn't stop. After this, I'm kind of worried. I don't know if I'm running into him by chance or if he's following me. Still, what can I do? I get pepper spray from Amazon and just bring it with me. Now, October. I came home from work around a week ago at about midnight. As I'm coming down my street, I see the same car that he got in that night at the party sitting parked a few houses down. I double-checked the information. Same make, model, and plate. My heart absolutely drops. It sat there from when I got home. I kept peeking out the window until I fell asleep at around 4 a.m., and it was gone when I woke up. I thought about where he could have gotten my address from. The only thing I can think of is that he somehow followed me from work that night, or maybe the party. I told my friends about this, and they were obviously worried. I haven't told my parents about any of this because I had lied about where I was going, and I was drunk. I went to the police and asked what my options were, told them about the first attack, and they more or less told me that it's not illegal to go to parties, nor is it illegal to sit on a street. I did some of my own digging. I have a first name and his number, which is blocked, but I looked on Cash App and Zelle to try to find more info, but I think it may be a burner number because there's nothing. I have now obviously run into this man several times. I do not believe for a second that it is by chance, but I could be paranoid. He could have been visiting the neighbor's house, I guess. I know he doesn't live on this street. Realistically, does this count as stalking? I just want to know what he wants and how much danger I'm in. What can I do? If I did tell my parents, I'm not even sure they could do anything, considering the police already told me they couldn't. My friend hasn't been seen in months, and I'm suspicious that his girlfriend might be impersonating him. This is one of my closest childhood friends, whom I haven't seen in about 6 months, due to his general inability to respond to any form of communication. We now live in different states. My messages, on several different apps, have gone unanswered since last summer, but I figured he had switched to a new number, as he often does, and didn't worry about it too much. About a week ago, I was contacted by my friend's apparent girlfriend over Facebook. I didn't even know they were dating, let alone living together. She sent me a vague message asking me to reach out to him in a way that made it sound like he wasn't in a good place mentally. She also included his new number, but when I reached out to him via text, it didn't even show my messages as being delivered. My calls go straight to a generic voicemail and have remained unanswered. The weird part to me, at this point is that my friend's girlfriend hasn't responded to a single one of my questions over FB. It's like she sent the first message and then forgot all about it. I talked to my friend's older sister, who said that she spoke to the girlfriend recently and was told that her brother isn't reaching out to anyone because he's lost his job and is very depressed, feels like a failure, and fears rejection. Which I understand, but I don't understand why his GF would ask me for help and then dip after I try to get even a crumb of context. I also learned that his family hasn't seen or heard from him in about 3 months, which is when he moved in with this girl. So here's the part that's kind of freaking me out. I thought about reaching out to my friend on Snapchat, since I could sometimes catch him on there in the past. I entered the new number that his girlfriend provided into Snapchat, but the handle that popped up underneath it is very clearly the girlfriend's. Handle complete with her name, personalized Bitmoji, etc. It's the same handle she uses for Instagram, so I know it's her. In my sleuthing, I also found a review that this woman left at my friend's former workplace. It's mildly unhinged. It accuses one of the female employees of being touchy-feely and sexually aggressive towards male employees. I don't know if my friend was fired or laid off or what, and I could see someone potentially leaving a negative review as vengeance if their boyfriend had been fired. But the content of this review was so specific, jealous, and paranoid that it has me absolutely baffled. It reeks of someone who is manipulative in relationships. Basically, is there an innocuous explanation for why my friend's supposed phone number would be associated with his girlfriend's Snapchat account? No one has seen or heard directly from him in months. The only communication has been through his girlfriend. At best, I'm worried that it seems like she's speaking for him, and none of us know how he's actually feeling. At worst, the Snapchat detail has me worried that she's impersonating him. I don't know why she would do that, but there are too many fishy details that aren't adding up. I don't want to call a wellness check if my friend is just depressed and antisocial, but this situation is seriously weird. Update 1. Thank you all so much for your input. It's been agonizing trying to make the right decisions here, and I really appreciate all of your consideration. I obtained my friend's mailing address from a family member. Incidentally, one of our close mutual friends just moved back to our hometown last week, and he told me he would try to swing by the address tonight and see if he could get proof of life for my friend. If he doesn't make it or can't find our friend, I'll call a wellness check first thing tomorrow. Stay tuned. Gupdate #2. Sorry for the delay. I had to take a personal day to deal with all of this yesterday and was swamped at work this morning. My friend is alive and well. He's not buried in the backyard or strung out on heroin or being impersonated. I still don't have all of the details I'd like or have a direct way to contact him for the time being, but at least I and his family now have a better idea of his mindset and situation. Yesterday evening, our mutual friend showed up unannounced at the mailing address I'd been given. Our missing friend opened the door and was apparently delighted to see him. His GF was there too, and by all accounts, she seems pretty normal. She also has a dog and a toddler that mutual friends said looked healthy, and there were no signs of drugs or intoxication. The phone number was in fact the girlfriend's. I guess he was just too absent-minded or depressed or whatever to read what I'd been sending. He seemed genuinely surprised to hear that a bunch of us were extremely worried about him, and told our mutual friend that he was lining up a retail job and planned to get a phone and start reaching back out to people as soon as he could afford to do so. I'm not sure whether he actually will, but that's out of my hands. I'm still worried that his mental health isn't quite as sunny as he's letting on. Even if you're aloof as hell, it seems like withdrawing from friends and family for months is pretty drastic. But I can't really do anything else from where I am at this point. Once he's back on the grid, I hope he resumes contact. But I don't think this is something I can worry about as much going forward. Every time he drops off the face of the earth, he turns up totally fine. That's just the way he is. At least our mutual friend lives nearby now, and can hopefully coax him back into some semblance of a social life. Since a lot of you were mentioning the family, I wanted to give a little context. My friend comes from a very large, very religious, and conservative family. He has a lot of younger siblings and, as such, was basically on his own by the time we got to high school. He stopped living at home before he was 18 due to tension in the family. He was kind of a quintessential high school stoner, and his parents seemed to basically give up on him by then. They're also no longer located in our hometown, so I guess they're used to not having contact with my friend for long stretches of time. One of the family members I talked to did offer to get him on their phone plan so we can avoid situations like this going forward. If I ever hear from him again, I'll tell him. Thanks again for all of your help. I'm a little embarrassed that this blew up so much and ended up being completely innocuous, but I really learned the value of better safe than sorry over the past few days. And that wraps up today's deep dive into RBI, the Reddit Bureau of Investigation. Which case did you find the most disturbing? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next mystery. Until next time, stay curious.